Hey guys, Josh here from Sportitude Running, and today it is shoe review time, and we're going to be doing one of my favourites. I don't like to be biased with my shoe reviews, but the Hoka On Clifton 8 is my go-to mileage shoe. It was my go-to mileage shoe in the Clifton 7, and nothing has changed with regards to the Clifton 8. So in today's review, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the engineering components of this shoe, discuss the outsole, the midsole, the upper, compare it to where it was with version 7, give you all the information you need at home to, who knows, maybe throw this into your shoe rotation. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. Okay guys, what we'll do first, before we dive into the shoe itself, let's talk about the foot type that could be considering the Clifton 8. Now it is a lightweight, high mileage, max cushioned shoe. So it is your everyday trainer, one that's designed to go miles and miles and miles out in the road, but it is light enough to potentially use it for some short intervals / tempos as well, depending on who you are as a runner and what you're seeking with your shoe selection. So being a neutral shoe, what we're looking at there is a static position that might look something like this. So as you can see, the arches sit a bit high. There's a bit more real estate between the arch and the ground. And for that mild supinator, one that puts a little bit more pressure on the lateral side of their foot, they could be considering the Clifton 8. Also, like myself, I happen to have a flat arch, so someone that comes through their gait cycle doesn't have too much tendency to really excessively favour that medial side. If that happens to be you at home, but you're looking for a max cushion shoe from the Hoka variety, maybe consider the Arahi. But for myself, I do mildly overpronate, and I just tend to find that the Clifton has worked for me in the past, and that's why I'll be considering this shoe yet again. Okay guys, let's talk about the shoe. What we're going to do now is talk about the outsole first, the closest part of the shoe to the ground, and compare it to the Clifton 7. So, like you can see at home and like I can see here in the office, underneath the shoe itself is a lot of purchase area. So that's kind of why this shoe has got a huge following. One of the factors of this shoe has a huge following, because you've got a lot of real estate underneath your foot. So plenty of foundation, plenty of sort of purchase with the ground. However, what you can see here is there has been a significant change with what Hoka have done with the positioning of the outsole and the flex grooves. So what I mean by that is if I'm holding the Clifton 7 here in my hands, you can see that the flex grooves themselves run the horizontal band from the medial to the lateral side in this shoe. So yeah, provided ample enough flexibility and propulsion through that forefoot. However, Hoka have changed the positioning of the rubber and the flex grooves through the forefoot. So you can see if you just follow the flex grooves through here, it does from the lateral to the medial side almost been strategically positioned in that diagonal, sort of almost like a 45-degree angle really from that lateral to medial side. And the reason they have done that is to provide a little bit more stability and also aid in a little bit more propulsion through that forefoot as well. Now, I do have to say that it does feel a little bit snappy through the forefoot. Not that this shoe is designed to be incredibly propulsive. However, I do like what they have done with the positioning of the flex grooves. And for me personally, I really do like the potential to have a little bit more rubber as well, which again is a small thing with Clifton 7s and I'd say Clifton's gone by as well, that the rubber does wear down to that midsole, probably a little bit earlier than one would like. However, for myself, I was happy to sacrifice a little bit of durability through that area because the shoe itself was just so darn comfortable. Now, knowing that I might get a few more miles out of that outsole does make me feel a little bit happier, and no doubt for you Clifton runners out there, you will feel the same way. And the other thing too is the positioning of the flex grooves being on that 45-degree angle. Again, this happened with some Clifton runners, and I can say it was myself as well. So when the shoe gets to the end of its life, and with my 7s, it almost felt like I was bottoming out through the forefoot with the EVA cushioning system. So what I'm going to be pretty keen to see is, will this happen with the Clifton 8s? And I would argue that I don't think it will, because the flex grooves have been strategically changed. We should get a little bit more life out of the cushioning system, which is a great thing. Okay guys, coming to the midsole of this shoe itself. So it is a max cushion shoe. There's no real bells and whistles underneath the foot itself. It's a good simple EVA cushioning system. The geometry is the same with regards to the 7 as it is in the 8. And being max cushion, we've got a lot of shoe underneath our foot through here. So with the information we've just received from Hoka, we're talking about a 29mm heel and a 24mm forefoot for a variance of 5mm. And in the ladies, we've got a 27 heel and a 22 forefoot, again for a variance of 5mm through there. However, why this shoe is so popular and why I personally like it, it does have that early Meta Rocker technology. So for that runner that comes down, heel strike or midfoot strike like myself, as you transition through to get yourself ready to propel out of that forefoot, that rocker just aids in that little last phase of your gait cycle just to take a little bit of load off of those metatarsal heads. It is a very comfortable shoe to run in. I've never not got along with a Clifton. There has been a couple of misses within that range. Now I'm talking about the 4s and the 5s. Personally, didn't really love them as much as I had the previous versions. And once the 6 and the 7 came back to market, I was really happy with what Hoka had done and gone back and just almost paid tribute to why the Clifton one was so popular. And the 8 itself has probably had some significant changes from where it was with the 7, but they haven't compromised in the comfort, and nor have they compromised with the cushioning system, which again is a very good thing. Let's talk about widths. So the ladies, we have a B standard and a D, so slightly wider, which is great, 2 widths on offer. And the men's, we're talking about a D, which is your standard, and then a 2E on offer as well. Now, again, I've done this in videos gone by, but I just want to tip my hat and say thank you to Hoka, because when a brand makes their shoes available in widths, that means they care. They want their shoes more accessible, and it makes life so much easier for running specialty stores if they can carry a popular shoe like the Clifton in a couple of widths. It just means we can really dial in the fit, function, and performance for you, the runner out there. So being a lightweight mileage trainer, you wouldn't expect there to be a whole lot of grams underneath your foot. So with the ladies in a size 8, we've got 224 grams, and in a men's size 9, we've got 250 grams. So by no means are they the lightest shoes in the market, but they're certainly down towards that lighter end of the scale with regards to mileage shoes. Okay guys, moving to the upper of this shoe. Now, technically speaking, when we're talking all things Cliftons, we talk about the magic that happens underneath the foot. However, the 8, in my opinion, is the best upper Hoka have made in the whole Clifton franchise. Now, the reason I'm going to say that is because if you watch my shoe reviews before, and if I've happened to talk about a Brooks shoe, one thing I always call out with Brooks is the internal heel counter, or the collar that sits on the inside of their shoes. Brooks have got it right for the best part of 5+ years. At the back through here, we have an internal heel counter, so that plastic structure that just locks in the base of your heel nicely. And then with this little sort of Achilles flare, again, it's just to take a little bit of pressure off of that lower Achilles insertion. And if you happen to need a bit more lockdown, you've got the last eyelet to get that secure fit with the heel lock lace as well. So again, there's been no issues with the 7 with regards to heel slippage, and I would say the exact same thing is going to happen with the 8, which is fantastic. Engineered mesh forefoot. If anything, it's a little bit lighter with regards to the mesh on offer up top. The same width and depth has been executed with the Clifton 8, so they haven't changed with regards to being a size 9 and a 2E or a D. I am the same width and size in this shoe that I have been previously, which again is fantastic. So nice and continuity there from model to model. And the other thing too to call out with regards to the upper is the gusseted system. So the tongue itself is attached to the midsole, both the medial and the lateral side. I do like that. I do like how they've executed it with the Clifton previously, and again, the 8, there's no difference. So get a really nice lockdown on top of that arch. The other thing too I might add is the materials that they have used with regards to the lining of the internal heel collar. They have used the same material with regards to the tongue itself. So that closest part of the tongue which hits your skin, or your sock, pardon me, you're going to get a really nice comfortable fit up top. So tongues are sometimes underrated with regards to providing comfort, and if you get one wrong, it can really play havoc with regards to your comfort on top of your arch, so getting that tension right. But when they get one right, sometimes it just flies under the radar. But I'd like to call out the tongue with the Clifton 8. Well executed, great amount of padding, and the materials again used has just provided just those little couple of 1%ers with regards to the overall comfort of this shoe. So there you have it, guys. That is my take on the Clifton 8. Now, if you've got a shoe that's working, don't change it too much. I mean, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, really, because as a consumer, we don't like heaps of change, but as a consumer, you also want to see innovation. So there's got to be a sort of an even balance with what we're expecting from a brand and what we're demanding at the same time. So with regards to the execution of the outsole and the rubber, I think Hoka have got it right. It's going to provide a slightly more durable outsole, and also provide a little bit more of a propulsive feel onto the forefoot. Being a lightweight max cushion shoe, I love what is done underneath the foot through here. It's a simple execution of a cushioning system. The EVA foam does a job. Very happy with what Hoka have done in Clifton 7 and executed with the Clifton 8. Guys, if you've got any questions with regards to this shoe or any other Hoka shoes for that matter, drop it in the comments section below. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do hit the red button, stay notified, and we'll keep pumping out shoe reviews for you, the running community out there. And until next time, stay safe, be kind to each other, and we will see you out in the road. Take care.